Yeah, 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 yeah. Sixers win. Sixers win. Sixers win. Shout out my guy Martin Santiago. $1.99 super chat for the new AI statue fund. We got to get my man AI a better statue. Because that was ridiculous. Shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to the sickos. Sicko Nation, man. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to all the subscribers. Thanks for being here. 200 people in here right now. Do me a favor one time. Hit the like button for me. Close out the chat. Hit the like button. That will push this stream out and help YouTube, help Run It Back Philly continue to grow through the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate that. So 227 people, give me 227 likes, okay? There's some things we got to talk about when it comes to what just happened. Definitely. Audio is off. Can't hear the sound effect. What do you can't hear the sound effects? Oh, you can hear my voice though? We're good? You can hear me loud and clear? Everybody in the chat, you can hear me loud and clear, yes or no? I can hear. SM says I can hear. Are we good? Is the audio good? 10 out of 10? What are we talking about then? All right. Anyway, yeah, there's some things we got to talk about when it comes to that game. But first, this is brought to you by BetUS. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring the channel. And we put a parlay in today on BetUS, and I'm going to show you what we did and what we hit and how easy it was for me to profit $125 on BetUS just today. Took a single game parlay. We took Joel Embiid over 31.5. Now he had 30 until that last drive to the basket. So, it got a little iffy. I thought maybe we weren't going to get it because we were extending the lead. I didn't think he was going to come back in the last couple of minutes, but he came back in. He shot a fadeaway jumper that he missed, but really late in the game, a drive to the rim and a layup that gave me that 32. So we cut it close right there on Joel Embiid over 31.5. But I'll always take a Joel Embiid over 31.5 because, come on, bro. He averages 35. Let's be serious. Tyrese Maxey over 23.5. Kelly Oubre over 14.5. And the kicker to every Sixers parlay, Tobias Harris under! Always, 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 always take a nice, soft, beautiful Tobias Harris under at 14.5. We hit all four of them. We put $10 up. We won $125. That's just an example of what you can do on BetUS. They are the #1 online sportsbook. They're currently offering a 125% deposit match on up to $2,500 on your first 3 deposits. That means if you put up $500, you will have $1,250 to play with. They have 24/7 customer service, 24-hour payouts. Click the link in my description to get started. We're also giving away $125 in free play. Per month, by the way. I already gave away 2. The next 3 people to DM me on Twitter will get a free $25 deposited in their BetUS account. You make an account, you DM me on Twitter with the account number. I send it to them. They give you $25, and you can do a parlay like I just did. That was easy money. It was easy money, bro. I'm trying to help you out here. Shout out to BetUS. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Let's get down to business, man. Thank you all for being here. Sixers win 125-113, and DJ Eastwood wins $125. You can't beat that. Let's talk about it. Sound effects and intro music. That's because that's dumb. I play that intro video and it mutes the mic, and I forgot to unmute it. That's what happened there. 350 people in here. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button. All right, let's get down to business. First things first, of course. The Orlando Magic are an annoying team. Scrappy. pesty, young and hungry. Maybe, well, I'll say as far as their seed goes, overrated because, are the Orlando Magic really a third seed in an NBA conference right now? No. Paolo Banchero is nice, very nice young player, big, strong, physical, has all the tools. I think he'll be a great player in the league for a long time. Some of the players on the Magic are kind of annoying to watch, like the Wagner brothers. A lot of talent, but man, bro, just throw their head back every time someone breathes on them. They scream at the officials the whole game after every call. And they're just one of those teams that they won't go away. They got a lot of talent, a lot of guys that can get buckets. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Banchero, Markelle Fultz was cooking us at one point in that third quarter where he went on a little bit of a run, just dishing out assists left and right, which continues to blow my mind that he's still effective in the NBA while not being able to shoot the basketball whatsoever. But yeah, the Orlando Magic are a pesky team. They're annoying, but they're not very good. They're not a team that's really going to, I don't even think, win a playoff series. Just my opinion. If there's any Orlando Magic fans in here, sorry for that. I think they have a bright future, but the Eastern Conference this season, towards the end of the year, became a bunch of frauds, and the Orlando Magic's snuck their way up to almost the damn third seed. But just like Orlando has done the past couple of years, they came back down to earth. Because that's what happens. They come back down to earth. I remember a couple years ago they started out the season 12-0, and they were leading the Eastern Conference the first week or two of the season, and of course they came back down to earth. But yeah, they're not a team that you want to sleep on by any means, and that's what I was saying most of this game is that, stop messing around with this team. If you mess around and you think we're just playing the Orlando Magic, then they will, sneak one and steal one from you, and that I could see them winning a game in a playoff series. Depends who they match up with. If it's the Cavs, who I don't have a ton of faith in, the Pacers I don't have a ton of faith in either. But I still don't think the Magic are upsetting either of those teams. They might steal two from one of those teams. Joel Embiid, ladies and gentlemen, once again controls the entire game. Offensive side, defensive side. The impact is out of this world. And you didn't really feel like the Sixers were going to lose this game with Joel Embiid on the floor. He's that type of player, He's that type of player. He's that good on both ends. I think he's the best player in the league on both ends. I think every single year he's MVP, and I think every single year he's the best offensive player and the best defensive player. I don't care. Rudy Gobert is winning Defensive Player of the Year this season. It'll be his third award. Ben Simmons gave that dude 42. Last night, I don't know if you guys watched the T-Wolves Nuggets game last night. I was watching some of it. Was it last night or the night before? Either way, Nikola Jokic was bodying this dude in the paint. I mean, moving him out of his way. Nikola Jokic! Joel Embiid's the best defender in the game. I don't care what anybody says about it. And a couple of times in this game, just like it's been happening recently, a couple of players got a little ahead of themselves and thought they could dunk on Joel Embiid. It happened in the first quarter. I don't remember who it was in the first quarter, man. I don't think I wrote that one down. Somebody tried it in the first quarter, got blocked. There was one in the second half. It was Jalen Suggs, man. And for some reason, he cocked this thing back to 2003. I mean, he thought he was about to have a top 10 of the season highlight dunk. And when you saw the replay, I don't even think with Joel Embiid, if Joel wasn't even there, I don't think he was close to dunking. It actually looked funny. And Joel just, get that out of here, sir. I don't know why they keep trying him. Stop trying to dunk on Joel Embiid. It's not going to happen. Unless it's John Collins from the weak side on an alley-oop when he's not looking and an offensive foul that wasn't called. You're not dunking on Joel Embiid. But you know what? Keep trying. Because I enjoy that. It's very entertaining. I grew up watching the Iverson era and Dikembe Mutombo for a couple of years. So anytime Joel gets a block on an attempted post or dunk and throws that finger wave, I love seeing that. Joel was cooking in the beginning, got these young boys in foul trouble early. Wendell Carter and Jonathan Isaac and Mo Wagner, of course, who cries the whole game, every game. Joel put the Magic in the bonus, the second quarter? Or maybe the first quarter. 5 minutes left in the first or the second, I don't remember. No, the second quarter. We're not a bonus in the first quarter, idiot. And then we get the injury scare. Joel drives to the hoop. It looked like a pretty normal drive to the hoop. Went to the left leg for a layup. Looked like he kind of tweaked his ankle. And the scariest part about that, if it's a tweaked ankle, that's one thing. Sit him down against the Nets. Sit him until the playoffs start. If it's a tweaked ankle, that's one thing. But he bends over and holds the front of the knee. He didn't grab for the brace like he was readjusting the brace. He bent over and held the front of his knee. And we were all just like, dear God, just please no. Just don't do this to us basketball gods. We were like, and on the playback stream, we brought all the candles up here. We turned the lights off. We lit all the candles. And we said a Sicko Nation prayer for Joel Embiid. That's how just sick in the head we are. We did say a prayer. And it was beautiful, and it worked. He came back in the game. It's all because of us. It's all because we said a prayer to the basketball gods. Loxy83, see you later. Have a nice day. Yeah, anybody else want to get banned for celebrating injuries or stupid things like that? Step right up to the plate. It's not hard. I click a button and you're gone forever. Jonathan Himes, my man, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Shout out to 5 people that just became a member of the channel. Thanks to Jonathan Himes. Thank you for gifting memberships. I think that's a pretty new thing for YouTube. Anyway, the third quarter, Joel Embiid comes back. That is when Suggs tried to dunk on him. Joel wasn't crazy effective once he came back. I mean, he was effective defensively because at one point in that first half, Mo Bamba was in the game. And when Mo Bamba's in the game, you're in trouble. And Mo Bamba is not good. And I'm not even really sure why he was in there. He was in there for like a couple of minutes. And then you never saw him again. But yeah, Joel came back in the game, so I guess his knee is fine. It was very scary for us because, you never know. They said he's 100% after surgery. The sound didn't come through. So my sound effects aren't working for some reason. That doesn't actually make any sense. Because my mic is on. Anyway, whatever. No sound effects this show. It's fine. Yeah, Joe came back in the game. His ankles, or his knee is fine, his ankle, whatever it was, and got the big block on Suggs. Wasn't as effective offensively, I don't feel like, in that second half after he whatever it was, hurt his ankle. I'm going to say his ankle because I don't want to speak the knee into existence. And the Magic hung around a little bit. Oh, it was Gary Harris was the other one that tried to dunk on him. Idiot, Gary Harris. Gary Harris? Really? Oh, yeah, but Joel came back in, man, and did his thing down towards the end. Got us, a couple of buckets. But that injury scare, man, that was not fun. The crazy thing is Joel Embiid is so good that he gets hurt. He goes to the locker room. He comes back in the second half. He's not crazy dominant in the second half, and he still finishes a game with 32, 13, and 7. 32, 13, and 7. He had 20, I think he had 20, 10, and 7 at halftime. And then he just looked tired really in the fourth quarter. I hope it has nothing to do with, a knee. If it has something to do with an ankle, like, again, sit him against Brooklyn, sit him until the playoffs start. We've seen enough now. You know what I'm saying? We've seen enough. It's all good. We know the knee is good. We know that he can do what he does. I mean, the guy scored 120 points in 119 minutes in 4 games after knee surgery. That is superhuman. That is not normal. That is the fastest scoring pace that's ever happened in the NBA. He's the highest point per minute player to ever play the game. It's crazy. We've seen enough. We don't need to see any more Joel Embiid. We don't need to see him against Brooklyn on Sunday. Get him on the exercise bike. Tell him not to, tell him to stop eating candy and what did he used to do? Shirley Temples or something? Remember he said remember like the first couple years of his career, he said when they fly somewhere, he gets like 5 chicken sandwiches and 4 Shirley Temples. Yeah, let's stay away from all of that, okay? Let's go grilled chicken salads. Let's go protein shakes. Let's go exercise bike. Don't bring him in versus Brooklyn. I don't care. Unless we have to win that game, but I think the Sixers stand a pretty good chance without Joel. And then let's get ready for the playoffs, okay? The player that won the game tonight, the player that really came up the most clutch in crunch time, in the guts of the game, as Mark Zumoff would say, Tyrese Maxey, once again, not a Robin to anybody's Batman, not a number 2, not a 1B. Tyrese Maxey is him. Tyrese Maxey is absolutely him. He is here. He is an all-star. He is ready. And anybody that's still like, I don't know if he can do it in the playoffs. I don't know either. It didn't happen yet. But I have no reason to think he can't. I've seen Tyrese Maxey now in so many games this season, in close games against good teams, in the fourth quarter, put the team on his back, look as confident as anybody. There's no questioning it anymore. He knows he's that guy, and he knows when he needs to step up. And in the fourth quarter of this game, Magic's still hanging around. A 7-point game, 8-point game. That's what's sketchy about a game like this against a team like the Orlando Magic. You feel like the Sixers are dominating really the whole game. But then you look at the scoreboard and you're like, why are we only up by 8? Why are we only up by 9? Why is this game not over? Why are we not putting this away? And really, it's a lot of threes on the defensive end because guys like Tobias Harris still overhelp and leave players wide open for 3, but we're not going to go there yet. About 5 minutes left in the game. The Magic had it to around 7, and Tyrese Maxey went on a little bit of a run by himself right there. When you really feel like, I think I said it live on the stream. I think I was like, Maxey, we need something. We need something, Tyrese. Do something. And he got to a mid-range step-back jumper on the left side, splash. And then he had a drive to the rim through contact and one finish. Flexes. The crowd's going crazy. So, yeah, that little spurt right there by Tyrese Maxey, that little 5 points with about 4 minutes left in the game, to me, put the game away. Offensively. Defensively, Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre forced, I feel like, 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. And there was, the one was drawing an offensive foul under the rim on Jonathan Isaac. And when you saw that replay, I felt like he baited a little bit, but they fell for it. Put his arms around Isaac a little bit under the rim, and right when Isaac went to push off, Kelly just fell over. But hey, if you're going to call it on both sides, call it on both sides. So Kelly draws a big offensive foul, turnover right there in crunch time. Then he had another just loose ball, kind of dive on the floor. Ball pops out, and I think Maxey picked it up and took off running, and Oubre's on the floor giving the first down signal. Kelly Oubre was huge in this game, defensively. Had 21 on the offensive side too, had some offensive rebounds and putbacks. 21 and 9 for Oubre. Had a couple of just takes to the rim where he just, is getting hit, no call, but he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop and look at the officials. He just keeps going. He grabs his own rebound and goes back up. There was like 2 or 3 times I saw in this game where he's under the rim just out-hustling everybody. And getting beat, but out-hustling everybody on the second attempt. And getting the ball back and putting it back in. Just fighting and fighting and fighting under the rim. And that's why Kelly Oubre is this valuable to this team. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists for Kelly Oubre, but just heart. Just flat-out heart from Kelly Oubre. He's that guy, man. He's that fighter. He's that guy that's just on the team to just fill in the blanks and dive on the floor and attack the rim with his eyes closed and just a dog. And we haven't had a player like Kelly Oubre for a long, long time. And that's why Kelly Oubre is clearly 3 option on this team. Which brings me to our good friend, Tobias Harris, who had a great game. Great game, Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris had a great Tobias Harris game. This is what I say. If we have to play him because of the contract or whatever, or his longevity, or he earned it, or whatever you feel like, just give us this. This is all I want at this point. I don't care anymore. You're a role player. We know we overpaid you. It's cool. Just be the best role player you can be. Play physical. Fight for rebounds. Give us about 10 to 15 points. That would be nice. Gave you 14 tonight. Only 6 boards. But I saw him fighting down there. Maybe he was getting bodied a little bit. Maybe they had some size on him. Jonathan Isaac and Banchero and the Wagner brothers. Gago. What the hell's the guy's name? Goga Margetzi. But anyway, yeah. Tobias gave you 14. 5 for 10 from the field. So he's not taking shots away from other players. He's just getting shots where they're coming to him. And he gives you 5 for 10. That's efficient. I like the game from Tobias Harris today. I think that's really all that I want from Tobias Harris is play hard, be effective, and just accept your role on this team. Really. And don't waste everybody's time trying to get to a 24-second dribble, back down, turnaround, 2-point jump shot. Because it's not 1979. That is the least effective shot in all of basketball. And it slows down the game and nobody likes it. And he didn't do that too much tonight. He did do it once, though. And it cracked me up because he got, I want to say, Cole Anthony or Markelle Fultz on a switch. Maybe Gary Harris. I think it was Gary Harris, actually, in the second half. And he did what I just said, backed him down to a turnaround jump shot. But he actually dribbled the entire shot clock out and got a shot clock violation. But listen, I want to give Tobias Harris his flowers for this game for playing his role and playing it well. And on the defensive side, he wasn't a slouch. He had to take on Paolo Banchero one-on-one this entire game. And I think he played pretty good defense on him most of the game. And Tobias Harris does match up with guys defensively, I wouldn't say 1 through 5 like he says, but I would say like power forwards, like Paolo Banchero. And, he was guarding him a lot of the game, and Paolo was 7 for 24 for 22 points. So I think Tobias Harris played good defense. I think he was physical. I think he played his role well. And that's all I really want. That's all I really want in the playoffs, from Tobias. So shout out to that. Thank you, Tobias Harris, for playing your role and, helping us win the game. What else, really? Nicholas Batum coming off the bench. Again, going back to Kelly Oubre, speaking of Tobias Harris and Kelly Oubre, I think Kelly Oubre needs to start. The 76ers are 13-0. with Kelly Oubre and Joel Embiid starting. The 76ers are 13-0 with Kelly Oubre and Joel Embiid both in the starting lineup. And so I was saying, just a couple days ago, Kelly needs to be in the starting lineup in the playoffs. I think so. I think he just fits perfectly. I think he plays off of everybody. It's so good for us. But I was like, they're not going to bench Tobias Harris. And I think Nicholas Batum is a great Robin to Joel Embiid's Batman as far as power forward center combination. But I was like, who's going to go to the bench? Because I don't think it should be Oubre. And so Nurse's decision tonight was to bring Nicholas Batum off of the bench and play Tobias Harris at the power forward position with Kelly Oubre at, I guess, technically shooting guard. He's listed on here as a shooting guard. It says Maxey and Lowry are both point guards, though. We'll say Lowry point guard, Maxey shooting guard, Oubre small forward, Tobias power forward, Joel Embiid center. And that ended up being a pretty good lineup, man. I think Oubre gets to play his game the way he's been playing it in that position. I think Tobias Harris played that role pretty well and played hard defense. And this starting lineup could be a problem in the playoffs. I don't know. I guess maybe it's matchup dependent on Nicholas Batum starting or coming off the bench. But, yeah, Nicholas Batum came off the bench. What else is there to really talk about, man? Paul Reed had 6 points and 3 rebounds. Buddy Hield, 2 threes from Buddy Hield. I think both in the first half. They were both wide open threes, but, he's looking a little more comfortable in this game. And we want to get Buddy Hield back to being comfortable with those shots as you get to the playoffs, right? Yeah. Anything I missed, guys, hit me up in the comments. Anything I missed, anything you guys want to talk about, man, we'll sit here and chop it up with the chat for a little while. The Bucks are horrible. The Bucks have something to play for now on Sunday. All right, let's look at the standings again. Let's confuse myself. Let's do some math problems. Let's get a headache. We'll look at the standings now with 1 game left. I've been making videos on the standings now for like 3 days in a row. Completely embarrassing myself on YouTube because every time I think I have it figured out as far as who plays who and what the tiebreakers are, I usually say at least one thing wrong, and I get roasted in the chat. But it's all good because the more they roast me in the chat, the better the video does because of engagement. So it's funny. I think it's funny. I literally tell people I'm leaving it up. I don't care what you say, and they still come in the chat and roast me. So it works. Let me bring the standings up on the screen here. Okay, let's do it. We're not going to get confused this time, all right? Here we go. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Indiana Pacers tonight. That's pretty big for us, okay? The Orlando Magic lose to us. Obviously, that was with the game that we just watched. So it is now a 3-way tie with Orlando, Indiana, and Philly. And here's how it goes, okay? Orlando, last game of the season, is against the Atlanta Hawks. No, that's the Pacers play the Hawks. The Bucks on Sunday. And so now we root for Milwaukee on Sunday. And they're playing. And they lost. Why am I frozen? Am I unfrozen? Okay. They played without Dame tonight, and they lost. So let me get back to the standings. So we root for Milwaukee on Sunday to beat Orlando because the Sixers play Brooklyn. We beat Brooklyn. We are 47-35, right? Orlando loses to Milwaukee. We have a game on Orlando. Indiana, if Indiana wins against Atlanta, we would be tied with Indiana. They have the tiebreaker. They are up 2-1 on the season. So We need Milwaukee to beat Orlando on Sunday for the Sixers to at least be in the 6th seed. If Orlando beats Milwaukee on Sunday and Indiana beats Atlanta, that is a 3-way tie. Some people still don't know that Orlando would then win that tiebreaker because a 3-way tie goes to a second tiebreaker, which is conference record, and Orlando owns that. And that would put us tied with Indiana for 6th, and they have that tiebreaker at 2-1. So if Orlando beats Milwaukee on Sunday, we would still be in the play-in tournament. No? Who's saying no? Am I wrong? Am I wrong about this? How am I wrong about this? It's a 3-way tie. Talk to me. What did I say? What did I say that was wrong? Thank you. So yeah, we root for Milwaukee on Sunday. Oh, you were responding to people. Oh, I'm so insecure now about being wrong about this because every time I think I have it, I fuck it up. Yeah, so you need Orlando to lose to Milwaukee on Sunday. And at that point, the Sixers are at least in the 6th seed. If Orlando beats Milwaukee and Indiana beats Atlanta and we beat Brooklyn, it's still a 3-way tie and we'd be in the play-in tournament. If Orlando beats Milwaukee and Indiana loses to the Hawks, we would be in the 6th seed. Am I right about that? If the Bucks lose and Knicks win, who gets 2nd seed? Yeah, let's look at that too, because if we're in the play-in tournament, dude, it's so confusing, bro. That's the funny part about people roasting me in the comments. They're like, you're an idiot. I'm like, really? Am I this stupid? It sounds confusing as shit. I don't know. Maybe the guys in the YouTube comments are fucking geniuses, but I get confused every time I try to do this. Milwaukee's 49-32. New York is 49-32. We want Milwaukee to beat Orlando. If Orlando wins that, and the Knicks play, who do the Knicks play? Who do the Knicks play? The Knicks play the Bulls on Sunday at 1. So if Milwaukee loses and the Knicks win, the Knicks are in the 2nd seed. Because they're tied right now. But I get the Bucks have the tiebreakers is where it gets me because I would have to look at the schedule and who has the series win or whatever I'm trying to say. Who owns the tiebreakers where I always get hung up with these things. But they're tied right now. But if the Knicks beat the Bulls on Sunday and Milwaukee loses to Orlando, then yeah, the Knicks would be the 2nd seed. And then we would be fighting to get out of the play-in tournament to face the Knicks in the first round, which is not fun. I don't want that to happen. I don't fear the Knicks. I don't think we lose that series. I just think they play great defense. They're very physical. They're deep, and it would go a lot more games than people think it would go. I know people every year we get to the playoffs and people are like, "Oh, sweep, gentlemen sweep." I'm like, bro, what? That might go to 7. Milwaukee could lose to Orlando. Indiana could lose to Atlanta. We could end up in the 6th seed that way and end up playing Milwaukee in the first round if they fall under New York. Cleveland's 1 game behind New York. This could also end in a 3-way tie, couldn't it? All right, I have a headache now. I'm done looking at it. I'm done talking about it. But there it is. The Sixers need Milwaukee to beat Orlando on Sunday. And I think they could end up in the 5th seed there. And they'd be playing the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. Is that best case scenario? Is that best case scenario? Milwaukee beats Orlando on Sunday. Sixers beat the Brooklyn Nets. Cleveland stays right there at 4. We get the 5th seed, and we play Cleveland in the first round. 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. Yeah. We need the Hawks to win? Why? No, then we're in the Celtics side of the bracket. Okay, yeah, but I mean, then you're playing Cleveland in the first round, and you would play the Boston Celtics in the second round, which you don't want to do. But it is what it is. But I do need a Philly-Boston Eastern Conference Finals in my life. Sixers have a tiebreaker over the Magic. That's true. But if it's a 3-way tie, Orlando has a tiebreaker because they have a better conference record. There is that. There's no way Milwaukee's beating Orlando Sunday because Rivers does not want to face the Sixers. People have been saying this for a minute now, that Doc Rivers is ducking the Sixers, and I don't think that's true. I think Doc Rivers is just losing games because the Bucks are not as good as they appear, or they're a lot worse than they were before they fired their other coach, which is just funny to me. But I think Milwaukee wants to finish in the 2nd seed. I don't think they want to fall to the 3rd seed. I don't think Doc Rivers wants to fall to the 3rd seed. It would look terrible on him. We still got to beat the Nets. Like I said, I don't even think we're going to play Joel Embiid. I don't even think we're going to play Joel Embiid against the Nets, man. Mr. Rudy, thanks for the super chat, man. Jalen Suggs is the type of player I want far away from JoJo. The guy is reckless. He is reckless. You're right. Just kind of dives at people's legs sometimes. A little bit sketchy, Jalen Suggs. The Maxey Suggs interaction there in the second half. He's going after a loose ball and threw his body completely sideways. Gave himself a kidney shot from Tyrese Maxey's thigh. And then laid on the ground and acted like he got sniped from the rafters. I like Jalen Suggs, nice young player, but yeah, he's reckless. But there's a lot of reckless players, man. There's a lot of them. I think there's a lot of them on the New York Knicks that play like that. It's Joel just got to play, man. He just has to play, and we're just gonna live with what happens. Stephen Griffin, thanks for the super chat. Come on, Doc, fight for this. We're all Bucks fans on Sunday, man. We're all Bucks fans on Sunday. Sixers are the 6th seed. Well, I mean, it's a 3-way tie for the 5th seed right now. So, I mean, they're the 6th seed or the 5th seed or the 7th seed. None of that really matters until after Sunday's games. They're all 346 and 35. Orlando and Indiana both have a better conference record. Actually, how would Orlando win that 3-way tiebreaker if Indiana and Orlando are both 31 and 20 in the conference? I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. It's giving me a headache. But yeah, we need the Bucks to win on Sunday. Okay, there's that. Anyway, yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about this game, man? Drop it in the comments. Give me your hot takes, opinions. What do you think about the Sixers starting lineup tonight? What do you think about Tobias Harris? What do you think about going into the playoffs? Any players that are underrated that you think should get minutes? Any players that you think are not gonna get minutes that should? Peter, there's no way JoJo doesn't play against the Nets. He wants to get in better shape. If his knee was fine tonight, he has no issues. He's playing. I don't agree with that. I think he's proven everything that he needs to prove after coming back from knee surgery. I think he had a scare tonight, and I don't think there's any reason for him to play against the Nets. That's just me. I don't think there's any reason for him to play against the Nets. I think they should sit him out, put him on the exercise bike, put him in the pool, get his cardio up. But I don't think he has anything left to prove, and I don't think there's a point in playing him against the Brooklyn Nets on Sunday. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Yo, Peter! Thank you for the super chat, man. Doc Rivers isn't smart enough to think about that strategy of losing to duck the Sixers. Peter, I think you're right, man. I'm sitting here giving myself a headache looking at the standings. You think Doc Rivers is sitting here looking at the standings trying to figure this shit out? Hell no. Hell no, man. The Boston Celtics back in 2012 tried to get Doc Rivers to be more analytical with his approach, and he disagreed, and Danny Ainge traded him. Traded him to the Orlando Magic for a first-round pick. Doc Rivers got traded because he refused to buy into analytics. God, what a terrible coach he is, man. Let's see what you guys said, man. Bucks, we beat Doc retires, Dame walks. Damn, bro. Bucks, we beat Doc retires, Dame walks. We need some commas, man. We need the comma button on your keyboard, Chris. You got to just use it, bro. Bucks, comma. We beat Doc Rivers, period. Capital D. Dame walks, comma. Bucks implode. We don't want the Knicks, period. Capital T. The league ain't letting them lose first round. Okay, Bucks. You want to play the Bucks? We beat Doc Rivers. We beat the Bucks. Doc retires. Dame walks. Bucks implode. We don't want the Knicks. The league ain't letting them. Wait, why isn't the league letting the Knicks lose in the first round? What does the league have with the New York Knicks? They've been terrible for 70,000 years. NASCAR driver should play if Lowry is struggling. I agree with that, and I think he will. I think Nurse is completely open to that. I know Nurse, likes Jeff Doughton Jr. Jeff Doughton Jr. coming around turn 3. I think Nurse really likes Jeff Doughton Jr., and I don't think he's afraid to play him in any situation. And I don't think there's this Nick Nurse now. I didn't watch Nick Nurse intently in the playoffs, over the years, so I don't know this exactly. But I feel like under Doc Rivers, there was always this, Doc Rivers felt like he was, to me, it felt like he was so nervous and afraid to make any adjustments or try anything different in the playoffs. Once the playoffs started, Doc Rivers had his 9 guys, and that was it. And he was never going to change anything. And if that didn't work, he was just going to, and that's probably why he has the most blown playoff leads in NBA history, and he's known as not adjusting. I don't feel that way anymore, which is a great feeling for his team going into the playoffs. I feel like Nick Nurse is open to adjustments, and he's not afraid to play guys that he feels confident in. And I know for a fact, we've seen it now, that he's confident in Jeff Doughton Jr. So I would expect, if some guys are struggling, I would expect Jeff Doughton Jr. to get in there. Speaking of Ricky Council NBA contract now. Yeah, I put out that video today because I feel like there's no reason for the Sixers to not sign Ricky Council to a standard NBA contract. They have 2 roster spots open. It's Turk Smith and Ricky Council. They don't have to sign Turk Smith if they feel like he's not going to play in the playoffs. But I think Ricky Council has value for them in certain situations, like you just saw in that Spurs game where he came in the fourth quarter in crunch time and we needed a spark and did some amazing things and played under control. He doesn't play like a rookie at all. He plays like a veteran NBA player. He really has a really high basketball IQ. He's not just some goon out of the G League that's out there running into people. He really makes some smart plays and uses his body and fights under the rim and attacks the rim with reckless abandon. And so I think there's no reason for them not to sign Ricky Council to a contract before the playoffs start, allowing him to participate in the playoffs. Because if you get in some games that are you get into some of these series and it's 3-2 and it's players are tired, players are beat up, maybe somebody's out with a tweaked ankle, something. Ricky Council has some serious value, and I think you can count on him. I don't know if you want to count on him, but I think you can count on him to come into a game and give you that physicality and that effort, and I just think he has a lot of value. And unless they're negotiating over money, unless Ricky Council's camp is being like, we feel like we are worth this much money, and the Sixers are like, listen, we want to convert your contract, but we're not going to pay you that much money, so maybe they're selling high, maybe they're putting the price tag up there because they feel like they're worth it, and he doesn't want to sign a multi-year deal if he feels like another team could offer him more. So there's that, and there's those intangibles too. Which, go get your money. I wouldn't hate it at all if they don't come to an agreement because Ricky Council's camp wants a certain amount of money and the Sixers are not willing to pay that. Daryl Morey has this major cap space plan at the end of the season, which pray for that. But if it's not with the Sixers, I want to see Ricky Council get paid, and I want to see him have a role on an NBA team. I would love for it to be the Sixers. However, I don't think there's a reason for the Sixers to not sign him to a multi-year contract before Sunday or before the playoffs start. I think it has to be before Sunday, though, right? Before the last regular season game. I think so. Embiid said Oubre is the third best player post-game. No way, bro. Well, I mean, everybody knows it now. Like, let's not hide it. That's the thing. Somebody said that, when Amy Fadul said that, somebody said that she was being childish, and I was like, no, Tobias Harris just isn't the third best player. Nobody's being childish. They're just telling the truth. I'll have to look at that, man. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was a fun one. The Magic are a pesky team that stick around and don't go away, and they're annoying, and they're scrappy. Joel Embiid had a little bit of a knee scare. That wasn't fun. But we survived, and we got the dub. And now we need to beat Brooklyn on Sunday, and we need Milwaukee to beat Orlando. That would put us in the 5th seed. If Orlando loses and Indiana loses, we'd be in the 5th seed. If Orlando wins and Indiana loses, we'd be in the 6th seed. I think. I don't know. I don't want to give myself a headache again. Y'all are the best, man. Thanks for hanging out. Hit the like button one time. Oh, we got Super Chat. Hayden, what's up, man? Thanks for the Super Chat. Rivers or Brown? Making me choose between Doc Rivers and Brett Brown is like making me choose between a basketball directly to the nose or repeatedly slamming my pinky toe on my coffee table for a week straight. I'm going to go Brett Brown. You're not winning with either of them, by the way. But I didn't hate Brett Brown on a personal level. I don't want to put that word out there. I don't know Doc Rivers personally. I didn't despise Brett Brown's personality like I did Doc Rivers. I thought Brett Brown didn't know what he was doing, which clearly he didn't because he was never offered another NBA coaching job. And he went back to being Greg Popovich's coffee stirrer. Doc Rivers, I absolutely despise his personality. And I could not stand the way he sat up in front of the media, made everybody sound like they had no clue what they were talking about, put himself on this unbelievable narcissistic pedestal. And just the excuse making, the just real loser energy. So I'm choosing Brett Brown, but you're still losing anyway because Brett Brown's not a good coach either. There's my answer to that. That was not easy. But thank you for the super chat, man. Play-by-play with JJ. What's going on, my guy? Thank you for the super chat. Love you too, bro. Right back at you. Play-by-play with JJ. If anybody doesn't know, he does play-by-plays of Sixers games, Phillies games, Flyers games. What else, bro? Eagles games? I don't even know how you have enough time in the day. Y'all check out Play-by-Play with JJ. He's on YouTube, man, doing play-by-plays to all of those games. If you're ever out and you don't have access to the game and you want a good play-by-play, Go check out my man Play by Play with JJ, all right? That's it. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you soon. Peace.